Hi, this is Ableton certified trainer Keith Mills for Quantized Courses, and I'm doing a video today for you to show you how you can use clip envelope automation to craft the bass line. So here's a loop I've set up to show us roughly where our end goal is. So we're going to be going for a bass line that sounds not dissimilar to that. However, you can of course modulate any parameter that you like when you're using the clip envelopes. It doesn't have to be restricted to the ones that we'll be working with today. So this is what we've got for our demonstration. It's a 4 to the floor kick, standard offbeat hat, and this bass tone. So as you can see here, this is playing just a solid C1, and that's a default operator, so it's just a sine wave. Nothing has changed on that whatsoever. So the first thing we're going to do is actually craft some shape out of this using volume. So if I click on the track fader, then flick over to the clip view, hit our envelopes button here, you can see that the track fader is automatically highlighted for us as it was the last thing that we clicked on. I'm actually going to drag this in. Let's have this running at a half bar loop to make things a little bit quicker. So the first thing to do, Command B to get the pencil up, and I'm actually going to cut out the areas of the bass that are playing whilst the kick is playing. So in effect negating the need for side chaining in this particular case. Now if I play this back, let's just solo this. You can hear there's a lot of annoying clicking going on, and that's because we need to relax these slopes a little bit. They're a bit too harsh at the moment. So if I bring these in, and let's make this one a bit more extreme. It'll give an almost swing-like feel to things, as this bass note will be happening a little bit later on than the first bass note. Now let's have a listen. And with a kick drum. So we can then go ahead and add some texture and tone to this. Now the way I've done that in the bass line we were listening to originally is to automate the level of the second oscillator. So at the moment operator's got the FM algorithm. Oscillator B is modulating oscillator A, so that's generating higher harmonics. Sounds like this if I just turn this up on its own. So let's actually modulate this effect. Now again, because it was the last thing I clicked on, it's already made available for us in the clip view. And let's just draw, in fact I'll go without the pencil tool for this. And maybe let's have it increasing for this second note, almost in a sort of reverse kind of nature. So that's really extreme. Let's bring this down a bit. That'll do. Let's flick round. Last thing I'm going to do is just push up the level of the third oscillator to brighten the whole bass. There you go, that would do. So obviously you can mess around with this for ages and modulate all the different parameters that you like. Just to have a look at that original bass, you can see this is a more complex setup here. This is what's happening with the track fader. So it's just a half bar again. If I just drag that in, you can see it's a half bar loop that I've duplicated out in this case. But there's a slightly more complex pattern, one on the offbeat and 2 hits essentially for the second part of that loop. And if we just flick over and also have a look at the modulation on the second oscillator, you'll see that that's more complex also. But in the second half of this loop, so there's the half bar, in the second half of this loop, you can see things have changed up a little bit to give us a slightly different flavor. And it's also got a delay on it. So let's try a little bit of delay on the one that we've just created. I've got that set up on my return here. So let's just see what happens if we boost this up. It just gives it a little bit more interest. Now, obviously the timing's not 100% perfect on this. We need to adjust the envelopes a little bit, but hopefully it's given you some ideas for shaping tones yourself to create interesting bass lines, potentially leads. You can pretty much make any sound out of that you like. Hope you enjoyed the video. Take care.